Hello and welcome to another episode of B-Movie Enema, the series. I'm Jeff Arbuckle and I'm here with my trusty partner, Nurse Disembodied.
Hello, Jeff. And how are you doing today?
Now, I have to admit, I'm not feeling all that great for the last week or so.
Oh no, what's the matter?
Well, ever since I took that drink you gave me last week, you know, the one that you said would make me feel real good and shit, I've been feeling weird. Plus, I can't seem to stop drinking the stuff as well as...
What?
Maybe I shouldn't talk about that right now. Maybe we should just get back on track here?
Well, that doesn't sound too good, but me, I'm doing great.
Well, that's awesome. Let's see what we can do about that. Last week, we watched the 1968 drama Psych Out. That was a real attempt to approach the topic of hippies, some of which have some sort of spiritual angle to their hippiedom and their appreciation of drugs. That movie was fine with showing how hippies like to dance around, philosophize, sometimes wear Nazi paraphernalia, but when it came to drugs, there was a message about the dangers of one called STP. Pot would mellow you out. LSD would make you see things. STP could really mess you up. They really tried to make it seem like there was a message there about being responsible with your recreational drug use. But Nurse, you've seen hippie movies with people taking drugs and being stoned and dancing around and doing goofy things. You've maybe even seen movies in which people are so bonkers out of their heads that they are the bad guys.
Yup.
Have you ever seen one of those movies in which someone takes pot and becomes addicted?
Of course. Scare tactic movies are all over the place for the anti-drug movement.
Sure, but have you ever seen a movie in which a guy smokes pot, becomes addicted to it, and then is used as a test subject to see if these science dorks have done something real neat with turkey meat, only for it to then cause him, with the combination of drugs and turkey meat, to have a seizure, appear dead, and then wake up with a turkey head and crave the blood of addicts?
I think I've seen something like that. Wait, what?
Yep, so our movie this week is Blood Freak. This is a 1972 horror film directed by Brad F. Grinter and starring Steve Hawks. Hawks also co-produced and co-wrote the movie with Grinter. Now, I can't say for sure what the hell is going on with this movie. Grinter and Hawks have created something really mind-bogglingly bonkers with this movie.
I'm so confused.
You know, it isn't going to get much better here as we continue through this movie. I feel like Grinter and Hawks were going for something of a statement here. However, I can't really tell what that statement was supposed to be. It seems like Grinter, who we will see in this movie as a Greek chorus of sorts, maybe is trying to say something about counterculture or religion or drugs. Hell, I don't know, maybe science? It's hard to say. I will try my best as we go through these acts one by one. Nurse, are you okay? You seem shaken.
The guy, he has a turkey head?
He sure does.
Who thought this was a good idea for a movie?
I'm guessing at least 3 people did. Brad F. Grinter, Steve Hawks, and, well, me.
Am I the one on drugs? Is this what happens when you do drugs?
Probably.
Now, I'm just thinking about that one orderly we hired a couple weeks back. You know, the weirdo, and he keeps offering me gummy bears. I'm definitely not going to take any from him.
Nah, that dude's fine.
But he calls himself the scientist.
So what? I call myself the Enema Man. Besides, and this is what I was worried about getting into a few minutes ago. He saw me downing that drink last week, and he said these gummies would be an excellent wave to ride with them. So I took a couple of handfuls with them, and they are, what the fuck?
Jeff?
Yeah?
What were you saying about eating a few handfuls of those gummy bears?
Is that what I said?
Yeah, you did. Are you okay? Gobble.
Yeah, yes. You look very savory today, nurse.
When you look at me, I have a turkey head, don't I? Gobble, gobble.
What happens if I say yes?
Is the rest of the room melting around me?
Maybe.
All right, let's get the movie started and lay you down so maybe you can get over this.
We live in a world subject to constant change. Every second of every minute of every hour, changes take place. These changes are perhaps invisible to us because our level of awareness is limited. Take, for example, how the things we do and say to the people we meet. All these things affect our lives, influence our destiny. And yet there seems to be some kind of fantastic order to the whole thing. We never know how or when we will meet a person who will become a catalyst, or who will lead us to one. What is a catalyst? Well, in this case, a catalyst is a person that will bring about changes. They could be good or bad, but there will be changes. You can meet one almost anywhere in your everyday life. In the supermarket, drugstore, anywhere. Even riding down the Florida Turnpike. A pretty girl with a problem. Who could resist? Certainly not Herschel.
You're right. Damn right. Why did you just do it, though? There you go. I'm gonna stop right there. I think the girl that brought the music.
This place is like a madhouse. Some of my sister's friends are pretty far out.
You sound as if you don't approve of them.
Oh, no, it's not that. It's just that a lot of them are heavy into the drug scene.
You mean they smoke pot?
That, too. But I was referring to things worse than pot.
I never tried.
I'm glad you haven't. I'd appreciate it if you don't while you're here.
Whatever you say.
Herschel, this is my sister Amy.
Hello. No, thank you. That's not for me.
Did you get him, Church?
Don't be rude. Herschel's a guest.
One little toke isn't gonna hurt him.
You know your body's the temple of the Holy Spirit. You shouldn't defile it.
And you shouldn't defile me. I hope you're not gonna be a drag and quote scripture all night.
I'm going to go change clothes. Herschel, make yourself at home. I won't be long.
I will, thank you.
Sit down, Herschel.
Thank you.
You're so big. I like muscles. And you must be very strong.
And you're very beautiful. And you have a boyfriend.
So?
You shouldn't be acting this way with me. Especially when you're with someone else.
You've got to be putting me on. Guy doesn't mind if I like someone else. He wouldn't even mind if I went to bed with you.
I just don't go for a girl that acts like a tramp. Even if she's very beautiful.
Well, thanks a lot. You're nothing but a dumb bastard who doesn't know where it's at anyway.
Hey, what's that you so uptight?
I've just been insulted. He called me a tramp.
So? Why should that insult you?
Well, it does.
Hey, baby, I'm sorry. Where is this jerk? Come on, I'll handle it right now.
It's him over there, Herschel, Ann's sister's friend. Well?
Not tonight, baby. I think I've got a much better way to teach him off.
It just gives you a headache now.
No, you just got your bad side again. You're supposed to put it up the other side. That's still a summer. Where's the beat? I don't believe that at all.
It's not good, you know.
I really like it.
Hold that.
Oh, man. It's good.
This is my sister Angel. This is Bob. Doris.
Hi. Anne tells me you're into Bible. When you find time, I'd like to ask you a question.
Sure. Don't get her started. My sister thinks the whole world's a church, and she's a preacher.
I believe, therefore I speak.
Well, anything you like, I could dig it, okay?
My sister, she's a doll. But this Bible stuff is really a drag.
I think so. I'm really interested.
Anything she can dig, I can dig.
Well, whatever turns you on.
Praise the Lord.
There you go. I want to know what you're going to do after
What is a sin to you?
God says that anything that is not of faith is sin.
What about adultery? Isn't that a sin?
He says we commit adultery with sticks and stones.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, God is a spirit. I think you have to go to the Holy Spirit to make that real to you.
I see.
Here, can you read this? We love him because he first loved us. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen? And this commandment we have from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also.
Do you go by those commandments?
He says, follow after the Spirit, not the flesh. Now God is Spirit.
I see.
And he says to study to show ourselves approved. We have no need that any man teach us, but when the Holy Spirit of promises comes, he'll guide us to all truth.
I see.
I think I'd better go now. Would you like to come along? What?
Sure.
Say, this is going to be some night.
I think I better go with Angel.
Boy, what kind of a dope are you? Go ahead, turn into a Bible freak. See who gives a damn.
Anne, please.
Why don't you let the guy do what he wants to do? Well, he's screwing up my life. Who are you to judge what people should or shouldn't do?
Anne, I don't condemn you or your friends. I've only tried to help you with a problem before it's too late. You know I love you.
Don't give me that love crap. Besides, it's already too late.
No, it isn't. I tell you what, you come with us. We'll talk, okay?
I don't want to talk to you. I just want you to go away. And don't come back tonight. We're going to have a blast. Hey, Guy. I need some stuff.
Oh, no, what's your bug?
My sister, she's so straight. I can't stand her.
Let her do a thing.
Well, it's not like she's ever going to make it with Herschel. I really didn't.
I think you're jealous.
By the time she's through preaching to him, she'll have him so screwed up, I won't stand a chance.
That's up to something, you know?
Hey, man, she's my sister. I don't want to get her hooked.
Well, turn Herschel on then. I got some stuff that's laced with something really good. About 5 or 6 of these, and you're hooked. So don't smoke it with her.
But are you sure you won't be hooked until he's had 6?
Nah, some guys get hooked easy. Depends. Here, here's something for you for right now.
What is it?
Guaranteed to make you fly. All night, and maybe even until tomorrow.
But it won't, it won't hurt me, will it? It won't get me hooked.
Would I do that to you, baby? This is Guy. You're one of my favorites.
I'm sorry. I guess my sister's even getting through to me.
You ever think about this fantastic order of things? And how far does it go? You know, most people go through life completely oblivious to the obvious things that predictably influence their destiny. Herschel has met 2 beautiful girls. One is conservative, responsible, concerned with and contributes her time and efforts to the benefit of her fellow man. The other is the opposite. Or is she? Who are we to judge? It's strange how many people will argue interpretations of the Bible. Herschel has much to be grateful for. He's strong, he's handsome, and he enjoys being attractive to the opposite sex. And he feels that when he comments, that his words deserve the consideration of these Bible students, these seekers of the truth. And as he plays his game of wits and ego, his comments could be what caused the chain of events and the moments of horror and agony that were far greater than his experiences in the hell of Vietnam.
Herschel, I find your thinking interesting. I wish we had time to cover it more thoroughly. What are your plans and problems? The Lord's on our side, you know.
Yeah, how about asking the Lord for a job?
That's easy. I could use a husky man like you out at my poultry ranch, if you can wait till next week.
Really? What would I be doing?
Just general work till we find where you fit in with the operation.
Okay. Thank you. What do you want yourself?
Well, you're around the neighborhood. Do you have a place to stay?
You're welcome to stay with us until you get on your feet.
There you go.
Very good. Come and see us the first of the week. I'll be here.
Fine.
Very good. We'll look for you.
Need any help?
What can you do to help?
Want me to show you? I've been waiting for the chance.
No, thanks. I can manage.
Boy, what a dumbass you are. I didn't know why I bore myself with you.
Why do you?
Shut up.
How is it possible that a girl like you, young and beautiful, can be so far out? Your sister's so different. I could really never understand you.
Here,
No, thank
take
you.
a drag. It'll help loosen you up.
I can do without, thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. How can such a big hunk of man be such a damn coward?
I'm not a coward.
Well, that's more like it. Let's do it right. Deep, 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 deep. Hold it, hold it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Don't let it out. No, out slowly. Deep, breathe in deep, deep, deep. Now hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Let it out. Easy, easy. That's it. Do it again. Deep breath now. Come on. Deep, 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 deep. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Let it out. Come on, Herschel, what's the matter? Herschel, let me relax you. You're not relaxed. Come on. Come on. Come on.
I sure wish you were different.
Different? Different like who?
Why can't you be like your sister? She's so different.
Herschel, honey, by the time I get through with you, you're never gonna wish I was like my sister. Different.
Any man who could refuse such temptations from such a girl as this, he would have to be much less a man than Herschel. How bad is that? But remember that the paths of life are predictable, and we repeat them again and again. Right on.
Well,
This is certainly a movie.
well, it sure is.
I'm glad you're over your weirdo trip.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad you aren't a scary turkey-headed lady anymore. Yeah, so, I guess it was a good thing the scientist had a whole duffel bag of various uppers and downers to even out this trip I'm on. Am I right? Nurse? Nurse?
Do we have to talk about Blood Freak?
I'm gonna try. God damn it, I'm gonna try. And so in our first segment before the movie, I alluded to the fact that it's hard to say what Brad F. Ginner was going for here. For Steve Hoggs, what's he got to lose? He's getting a writing and producing credit along with being the lead in the movie. But for Grinner, gosh, I mean, you know, there's something else going on here, isn't there? You see,
Oh, here we go.
Grinner was clearly dealing with something. He was following in the tradition of old-time exploitation filmmakers like Ed Wood. You see, Ed Wood is what you would call a catalyst. A catalyst for understanding what you shouldn't do for a movie. Sometimes you run into an Ed Wood movie at a supermarket. Maybe even a pet store. Sometimes, while driving down the Las Vegas Strip while drunk on a case of Schlitz and railing on cocaine. Sometimes you see a cartoonishly large statue of B. Arthur, and it's a catalyst for you to steal that statue, go home, and make her your wife. She's not good for cleaning or cooking, but she fuels your desire. B. Arthur and Ed Wood. Who could resist?
Jeff.
Certainly Herschel couldn't resist. How could he? No, really. How could he resist? Why would he resist or not? Who is Herschel? Only time will tell.
Jeff!
What? Oh, I'm probably still not in my right mind, am I?
I've uncovered some more stuff about Blood Freak, and I think there's more to this movie than we're giving it credit for.
There's depth to a turkey head monster man killing and drinking the blood of drug addicts?
Well,
I know where we're going here. Its profundity is clear to see. There's a blogspot page called Cinema of the Abstract that posits the idea that Grinner appears to have failed this movie from 3 different angles. From the first angle, this is a bad exploitation film. It's poorly made, and poorly acted, and poorly produced. It's amateurish in every possible way. Another angle this movie is coming into Shitsville from is that this was bought and paid for by a Christian organization of some sort. I don't have a great deal of evidence around who produced this, or if it really was a Christian propaganda film. But our leading lady, Angel, sure is preaching an awful lot. But it's all very shallow, too. Nothing that is being preached is terribly thought-provoking. Shit. Her name is Angel. It's not compelling in any way. It's almost played as a parody of Christians who get a little preachy and become the bore of the party. And finally, this was square in the prime of the Herschel Gordon Lewis era. Notice that our lead character is named Herschel. This movie is not a splatter flick until much later in the movie, so it's not an enticing exploitation film. It fails to make a religious or spiritual way of life seem appealing. It's not gory enough to offset the fucking fact that this guy turns into a turkey monster. Perhaps, just maybe, that's the deep insight this movie offers. To avoid being a turkey monster, you need to turn to God. Turn away from the devil's lettuce. Give your heart to a good, conservative, kind woman. Live your heterosexual life with 2.3 children and a beautiful lawn. At least one girl on the side, when your wife is not willing to perform her God-given womanly duties, or you can simply
say, fuck all that, and not be a boring jerk at the party.
Yeah, or do that. I can attest to that to convince someone to smoke pot by the pool by being a tease, and then calling him a dumbass, and then call him a scaredy cat, so he finally decides to smoke that grass, is Nurse Disembodied's go-to move at parties.
All the time.
Yeah, trust me. Bikini, long black hair, comely attitude, shit-eating grin, these are all things that get people to smoke pot. It works for me, it works for Nurse Disembodied, and it can work for you too, kids.
Just make sure if you're trying to get people to smoke pot with you and you're partnered up with someone, don't wear the same 2-piece bikini. It's really embarrassing.
Jeez, it was just that one time we both wore our red and yellow polka dot bikinis to get the neighbors to party with us. Will you ever let me off the hook?
You should have set the alarm. You know I promised Angel I'd go to the upholstery range this morning about that job.
Lenny, Gene, this is Herschel. He's going to be with us for a while. They will tell you what to do. Glad to have you with us. Good luck.
Well, I'm ready to go to work. What do you want me to do?
You'll be doing odd jobs for us around the ranch and the lab here.
And if you want to make a little extra money, you can help us with some of our experiments in the lab.
Thank you. Experiments? What kind of experiments?
We are testing the chemical caponization of poultry, but we need a human to eat the meat to see if there are any side effects.
You want me to be a guinea pig? How dangerous is it?
Not dangerous at all. It's just a government regulation that the meat must be tested. Just for the records.
Sure. Besides, you don't look like you'd be afraid of anything anyway. Probably taken a few drugs here and there already. Am I right?
Yeah, I've tried some. Who hasn't?
Look, kid, we're on your side. You help us, we'll help you. Tell you what, as a part of the deal, we can throw in a little stuff. We got plenty.
You mean dope?
Well, just if you want once in a while, just for kicks, just call it an extra added bonus. What do you say? Is it a deal?
Okay, it's a deal.
Good. Tomorrow morning, bring your appetite.
I will.
Herschel! What's wrong? Herschel!
Help me. I need something.
Herschel! 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 Do you want me to call Guy?
Yeah, yes, go.
Guy? You better come over quick. Oh, please hurry, Guy, please hurry.
Suppose you tell me what's happening to me.
I don't understand what you mean, man.
You know very well what I mean. I had a feeling I'm hooked.
Hooked? Hey, it's a mistake. Don't worry about it. Hey, we'll take care of you, don't worry.
And how are you going to do that?
We'll keep you supplied. Look, that one's for free.
Free? You got me hooked, and you're going to keep me supplied. Got it?
Hey, I got a pressure here.
Now you listen to me. If you don't keep me supplied, I'm going to break every bone in your miserable body.
Okay, okay. Don't sweat.
Get up, son.
There you go. Brother, sure does smell delicious. I'm going to sit down here and I'll see if I can find a knife and fork for you.
Okay.
There you are. All set. I sure hope you have a good appetite. I have to split now. I have some work to do in the lab. Okay, thank you. Clean that up.
So why did you take him out and dump him? Don't we have enough trouble in these experiments without taking a chance on a murder charge? All we did was give this guy some turkey.
But Mr. Nolan, you didn't see him, sir. We were scared.
I don't care. He's still a man. The drug could be worn off by now. That is possible, isn't it?
Yeah, it could, Mr. Nolan. Honest, sir, I didn't think it could have any effect at all on a human.
You didn't think? You dumb bastards, how could you let something like this happen?
I don't care. It isn't like Herschel. Stay out all night. He would have let me know.
Probably got another source. Who knows? Here, take a toke.
The way I see it, this thing is really getting out of hand. Next thing you know, somebody's going to call the police, and they're going to bring the Missing Persons Bureau in on it, and they're going to come here as the last place he was supposed to have been. And we're all going to get locked up.
Suppose we get questioned. Are we going to tell the police the truth, or
are we going to lose our jobs?
I think we're going to lose our jobs anyway. We're damned if we do and damned if we don't. I don't want any cop trouble.
Neither do I. Right now, we're not involved in anything if we just split. Like just what?
You mean right now, this very minute? You know, Gene, there are times when I suspect that you're the brains of this outfit.
Herschel? I gotta be dreaming. Not. It's alright as long as I don't look at you. And when I woke up, I was like this. I don't have time to write all of it. I need some stuff. Maybe you can help me. Please. God, Herschel. I just can't believe you're here like this. Do you think the effects of it will ever wear off? What if it never wears off? Gosh, Herschel, you sure are ugly. Honey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... Herschel. You know, I got a guilty feeling that I caused all of this. And I'll stick with you. You know I love you. I've got to be dreaming this whole thing, Herschel. So I guess the pretty girl in the scene should stick with the monster she created. But what would it be like if you stayed like this? If we got married, what kind of life would we have together if you stayed that way? What would the children think of their father looking like that? My God, what would the children look like? What would they think? Would they look like their father? Herschel, what are you doing? Herschel? Oh. Herschel? Herschel? Oh my God.
Angel. Oh, Angel. Angel, please help me. Oh, something horrible just happened to her, so I know it's all my fault. No, please, no, I can't tell you over the phone. You have to come over now. Please help me.
Interesting how when we come to moments of despair, when we can't seem to solve our problems any other way, then, but not until then, we turn to God. It's a basic instinct in mankind, this appeal. In moments of great trouble, this appeal for help from a source that we play games with, scoff at, when things are going well. But a word of caution. Remember to be careful what you pray for.
We've been everywhere. You heard anything from him yet?
He's here.
Here?
Yes, here. You're not gonna believe this. It's so weird. It's like on a Star Trek or the Twilight Zone.
Jim, Herschel's here, but he's in the Twilight Zone. You scored any opium or something lately? I think it's you're the one that's in the Twilight Zone.
Wait a minute, Bob. I think something's wrong. Man, what's going on?
I'm not stoned or anything. I'm straight. I am straight. Look, if you're for real, he's for real. Come see for yourself. Herschel? Come on. It's all right. Come on.
supermarket, and then I have to go to the store first.
Oh, I should just do enough to hold it to what? Hey, Rocker, give you another one. Take one together, huh? Really get into it.
We'll do what we can, Ann, but hell, I'd expect us to manage, keep up a supply with a habit like his.
What happened to Guy?
Herschel scared him so bad, he disappeared.
Well, it's good riddance if you ask me.
Yeah, that creep. He's the one that gave me the stuff. The stuff that got Herschel hooked. I feel so guilty.
That bastard.
The only thing he was ever good for is he always had plenty of drugs.
Well, we can't manage without the help of someone. I'm talking about Herschel. It's not only his physical appearance that worries me, it's his head. He's not Herschel anymore. He's changing.
We gotta do something fast. That guy's dangerous. He could hurt somebody. Us.
We've got to stick together. Take care of him until he gets back to normal. You know this can't last.
All we can do to scrounge up enough drugs to supply this guy's habit. What are we knocking ourselves out for?
I still love him.
You know who I don't exactly trust?
The scientist who looks like a big, dumb, fat guy and possibly a nerdy Satan?
Bingo. Herschel gets a gig at the local turkey farm, which I'm not convinced is not just some pictures of turkeys with a guy off camera making turkey sounds. He's there for, I don't know, 25 seconds, before being introduced to Dr. Satan and Professor Lard Butt. The moment the old man turkey farm owner leaves the room, the guys offer him a position as a taste tester for some genetically modified turkey meat.
I trust these guys' science as much as I do their acting.
Oh my god, yes. So again, obviously this is a pretty amateur production here. If this was totally funded by a church as an anti-drug movie, then I'm guessing almost everyone working in this movie came from the church. However, Grinner and Steve Hawks worked prior to making Blood Freak. Speaking of our mirror universe Elvis Presley Johnny Cash love child, Hawks was actually born as Steve Sipek. He was Croatian and relocated to Canada in the late 50s. He pretty much made all his B movies under the stage name of Steve Hawks. He appeared in a couple of Tarzan movies, but his life outside the movies took a weird turn.
When you say something took a weird turn while also talking about the movie Blood Freak, I'm not sure what to make of it.
Well, just hang tight here. Hawks was burned while making a movie when an accident on set created a fire and he was tied down. A lion that was in the film was trained to remove his bonds for that scene. So while he was burned on over 90% of his body, he was forever grateful to the lion. To show his gratitude for big cats, he became a zookeeper for large and exotic animals. He would do this in the state that you suspect people to do this in, Florida.
That doesn't surprise me in the least.
Of course it shouldn't, but guess what?
There was drama?
There was drama. He was arrested in 2012 for not having proper permits. This stemmed from a Bengal tiger of his having escaped and needed to be put down by the authorities. Later, Hawks would admit that making Blood Freak was a low point in his life.
Why are we talking about all this boring stuff?
What do you mean? That's how this show works. A guy tells boring facts about a movie while trying to pull off some comedy.
We're not just going to blow past the whole thing with Anne wondering what her and Turkey Head Herschel are going to do when they have kids?
We are definitely not. So the big acting moment here for Dana Cullivan, who plays Anne, is her just rattling off some of the most vapid concerns about the future as Herschel has come to her with a turkey mask on his head, pleading for help.
But Jeff, what would happen if they get married?
I know. What will their children look like?
What if they look like their father?
What would people say about that?
How will their love survive?
Now, my favorite thing about the scene is the immediate thought that I had. Anne and Herschel basically just met 2 days before. They had sex yesterday. He got a job and turned into a turkey head. Meanwhile, she's fantasizing about them getting married and having kids. If I was that big old turkey, I'd be like, no thanks, I'm fine like this. Really, I'm good. I'm just gonna go and kill some people. See you around, kiddo.
Yeah, I thought Anne was the bad girl. Wasn't she all about the pot and the sex?
Right? I mean, what kind of Christploitation movie are you trying to sell us here, Blood Freak? Angel should be the girl Herschel wants to be with. She should be shining God's love or whatever all over him in his big old turkey head. Anne should be the one who has to learn the lesson about her ways and be punished for leading Herschel down this path to turkeydom. What's the deal here? Don't these people know anything about anything?
I think you answered your own question.
Fair enough. Let's get back to this conclusion where there is some gore to be had as Herschel feeds his bloodthirsty appetite on stoner kids all over Florida, as most Floridians do.
things could get back to normal.
Don't cry, Anne.
I guess there's no use hoping for that now. You're right. Something has to be done. I'm counting on both of you. Please, don't let me down.
Don't worry. We'll take care of it. Hey, I don't understand you anymore. What's with you?
I'm hung up on Herschel.
Herschel? He's not as straight as you think he is. I saw him with a chick last night.
You saw Herschel last night? You're putting me on, Gus. You didn't see Herschel last night. Not with another chick.
Herschel's just a big happy puppy type. He sees a chick he digs and he swings, man. Look, I'm telling you, I saw him with a blonde. They were stoned out of their minds.
I just don't believe you.
Hello?
Hey, what do you say, bud? Sky!
Oh, it's you.
Look, I gotta have some stuff, and I need it right away.
Look, guy, get off my back. Unless you get me the dough, I cannot supply you anymore.
Come on.
What do you think I am? You think you're the only one I have to supply?
I got bread.
Look, you'd better have the dough.
I got it!
Well, you'd better have it. You've put me off long enough.
Okay, see ya. You make a bourbon, right? Right. Where have you keeping yourself?
I've been over the islands.
Bahamas?
Yeah.
It's beautiful this time of year. Any good happening down that way?
Let's cut the small talk. You got the bread on you?
Yeah, man, I told you I got the bread. $100.
$175. You owe me $75 from the last hit you had.
Oh, man, I told you I'd pay you for that. This is $100 cash for what you're bringing me.
$175, man.
Wait. Sit down. Look, as soon as I dump this, I'll be able to square up with you. We'll be even, Steven. In the meantime, and if it's out of sight, check inside. Okay, beautiful. She's all yours. Won't even take it off the bill. Just call it interest, okay? Let me wait a week.
Let's see the check first. What's the deal?
See you later.
Herschel.
Unless you want your pretty little neck twisted, you'd better shut up.
Why don't you
I'm
sit over
fine.
here and I'll go get it. Okay? Okay? You all right?
Are you going to go?
Oh, excuse me while I get it.
Yeah, well, he's gone.
Yeah, I'd rather sit on the floor. I want to sit in the chair. If I can slide down.
Hey, we've been looking all over for you. Are you all right?
My God. I've been hallucinating. After I ate that turkey, I went to hell.
I told them not to conduct any experiments unless I was here. Are you all right?
I don't think so.
Have you been taking any other drugs?
Yeah. I spent some time in Vietnam in the hospital. I've been burned pretty bad. So they've been feeding me some drugs to kill the pain. And it wasn't enough, so I took some on my own. Since then, I only smoke pot. But it was much more than that pot.
Here, let me help you inside. I'll call Angel. She will know what to do. We've been working together down at the center for addicts. You're in no shape to ride that bike. Listen, there's going to be a nice bonus in this for you guys when this is all over. But you have to swear to me right now that you'll keep your mouth shut. Is it a deal? How's he doing? Has there been any change yet?
He's resting well and eating, but no, sir, he still looks the same.
And he must think things are really going to get hairy if he's offering us bonuses.
Well, we said we'd keep our mouths shut, but we didn't say anything about staying, did we?
Hello, drug center. What happened to him, Tom? I was afraid of something like that happening. Is he able to ride his bike? I'll come pick him up. I want to call in first, then I'll be right over. Bye. Mr. Nolan just called me. He said Herschel isn't feeling well.
What's wrong?
I'm not sure. Something about finding him passed out, hallucinating on drugs again.
Oh, no, Angel, no.
What is it, Anne?
Angel, it's all my fault. You know, I was trying to make him jealous. He wouldn't pay any attention to me, and I talked him into taking something. What's the matter?
I'll tell you about it later. Where did you get it?
From God.
Listen, I'm going out to pick him up now. You want to go along?
No. I couldn't face him now. Angel, I couldn't.
And if Herschel loves you, he'll understand.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't understand. I can't see him now. You go. I'll wait here.
Okay. I will try not to be too long.
Angel, would you talk to him for me? You know how. Will you please?
All right, honey. Don't worry.
Bye-bye.
He's in withdrawal. I think he must have been hallucinating. What must have happened, my laboratory men used him in an experiment, not knowing that he was an addict.
I think I better get him home.
If I can be of any help, call me.
Ian told me what she and Guy did. She's really sorry.
Why?
Herschel, she didn't understand that you were already addicted. She wouldn't have done it.
And I thought she loved me.
She does love you. Look, we don't always understand purpose and why things happen. We've got to have faith.
Fate. All the faith I had, I lost it.
You can get it back. Ask God to increase your faith. Please try.
Oh, Lord, my God. Help me. Help me once more. To get out of this hell.
We will. I know we will.
There's much to warn us all of the trends our destiny is taking. Our scientists agree that the one immutable law of life is change. There's much talk and protests about everything, about pollution, about drugs and their abuse. And this has been a story based partly on fact, partly on probability. But the horrors that occur in the minds of those who allow the indiscriminate use of the human body as a mixing bowl for drugs and chemicals are as real as the real horror. So when you eat or take into your body any chemical or drugs, you take a chance on reactions that are untested, unpredictable. There are government agencies, many responsible groups, fighting the use of chemicals in the food we eat, the water we drink. And yet there are far too many of us who go right on taking the good way of life for granted, ignoring the warnings. So, let's give a little thought to making our own story have a happy ending.
end your horror movie. The "it was all a dream" ending is some serious bullshit. That's all there to, I mean, to maybe, I don't know, try to land with some sort of profound, if you do the bad thing, you will have your turkey head cut off by stoners message. It's a cautionary tale, but how can you do the "it was all a dream" thing when you literally had other perspectives being shown in part that was supposed to be a dream? If it's a dream, how did Turkey Man know how others would react? Why would they all be trying to help him instead of making fun of him or make it so that he's made to be treated even worse, because that would really be a good nightmare type of thing to be the catalyst, as Grinner says, for him to change.
I'm not sure this movie could cash the check its big turkey head wrote.
Good God, no. It's like it couldn't even figure out its own narrative. In one regard, it's a guy in a turkey mask. It's a batshit movie that is really pretty terrible. The bad girl is the good girl. The director himself shows up in the movie and reads his lines while 3 sheets to a Florida breeze while trying to sound profound. Drug dealers are trying to pay for their shit with women. Said woman seems to be wearing a dress, but that dress is maybe just a t-shirt that is a couple of sizes too small?
This has all the makings for a really great movie to talk about.
But you know what? It doesn't have it. Aside from the crazy shit, there's not enough people associated with this movie to really find anything to talk about. Yeah, Hawks and Grinner both did a few other things, but nothing worth a damn to talk about or be bothered to do the homework on. It's like a black hole for discussion.
It's like they had a gnarly turkey mask and then worked backwards from there.
Boy, howdy they did. This movie is a really weird piece of Christian cinema. Of course, movies produced by churches and other religious organizations have been in the movie-making game since the start of films. There is something to be said about how conservative Christian media attempts to get in on the action of movies and TV. These organizations were quite well known for funding movies. But nowadays, the Christian cinema machine is mostly found in theaters around Easter and on PureFlix, the Christian answer to Netflix. There, you will usually find less genre films and more melodrama and outright arguments for the proof of God's work, and etc. Now, I'm not too well versed in these types of movies, so I'm going to pass on going much further about the PureFlix library. It ain't my thing. But what I can attest to is that Blood Freak isn't the first foray into the world of exploitation that the religious types went for. The year before Blood Freak came If Footmen Tire You, What Will Horses Do? This was a Christian, anti-liberal, anti-communist propaganda film made by exploitation filmmaker Ron Ormond after he was born again after surviving a plane crash in the late 60s. He partnered with Estes Perkle, who was a renowned Mississippi Baptist minister. He was the fire and brimstone kind of preacher. Repent and give yourself over to a vengeful God, a terrible God. You know, all that kind of shit. The pair made 2 sequels. The first sequel was The Burning Hell, which really played up that fire and brimstone shit, and starred Ormond's own son in the leading role of a guy turned toward the light to save his soul. Their third film was The Believer's Heaven. So you had one movie coming out against communism and portraying them as godless heathens. The second depicted hell. The third depicted heaven. But holy shit, Estes Perkle was into some weird torture porn kind of depictions of the world. Interestingly, each of the 3 films were remastered in the last 10 years or so by Nicholas Winding Refn. What I know of these movies ain't much. I'm not the intended audience, though I suppose I would be, but whatever. These movies are made to preach to the choir. Anyway, these movies are fascinating to see how certain parts of America pray to God and how seemingly terrible God really could be if you take to that representation. But now I'm off topic.
Just a bit.
Yeah, anyway, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if a minister in Florida saw Footmen or heard about it and said, "Give me one of them movies," and then got Grinner involved. I'm not sure Grinner or Hawks had the same faith that Ormond had, I can't be sure about that because it seems as though Grinner wanted a horror movie. He also had his chance as he coughed his way through his final monologue scene to inject some of that good old-fashioned religion into his lines. Instead, he simply stuck to fate and catalyst for change and how men could be weak to a woman's charms and so forth. Obviously, all of those things could have a religious tone applied to it, but I don't know. I would suspect Hawks had some faith being from Europe and then living in the U.S. for a while.
What it sounds like you're getting at is that outside of Angel, there's nothing specifically overtly religious about this movie.
Right. I mean, it certainly trades on some of that stick to the straight and narrow ideology that religion also trades in, but it just doesn't have that same feel. It's like what Cinema of the Abstract said. This movie is failing all its angles. Maybe its greatest failure is the religious film angle. All right, Nurse, hit us with the location of the good things.
You can catch all of Jeff's stuff at www.bmovieenema.com. You can follow the site's social media pages at Facebook and Twitter by searching for B-Movie Enema. New articles are released every Friday morning, and you can also subscribe to B-Movie Enema on YouTube so you can stay up to date with each of the episodes of B-Movie Enema the series, as well as see some clips from movies that Jeff uses in his articles. If you have a Roku, add the free channel OtherWorlds TV to your apps and check out all the obscure and forgotten films that play there each week. B-Movie Enema is part of a weekend lineup of movie hosts that play every weekend on OtherWorlds. So be sure to check out the others that share their airwaves with this show there.
Thank you, Nurse. You know, there's much more to consider about the show we do here. We should be looking at these movies as part fact, part probability. There's so many people talking about organizations that can help curb the rampant use of drugs that get mixed into the mixing bowls of one's body. Sometimes government organizations do things and say stuff to help, keep people from putting untested turkey into their sandwiches. Like this cigarette, for example. Is it fact? Is it even probable? Is it even a drug? Is it the disguise for a bad movie that will now live on in my body? Is it possible that I will never know? I can't say for sure. I just know that what I'm trying to say probably sounds good. Or not. Maybe it makes me sound like a moron. Whatever it does do, it probably is meaningless in the grand scheme of things. And that is maybe what you should put in your pipe and smoke, along with your perceived destinies or something.